Hello everyone, welcome to ECPC English. Today I have a great story for you. It will help you improve your listening skills and teach you an important lesson about greed and kindness. This story shows how hard work can change lives and the dangers of wanting too much. Listen carefully until the end, and I hope you learn something new. So, let's get started. The Greedy Farmer. Once, there was a hard-working farmer named Edward. He worked day and night in his fields, but luck never seemed to be on his side. Every time he grew crops, they were ruined for some reason. No matter how hard he tried, he remained poor and sad. One day, Edward decided to ask an old sage for help. The sage lived on a hill, so Edward climbed up and shared his troubles. "Master, I am very worried," Edward said. The sage nodded. "I see your sadness. Your crops have failed, and this weighs on you." "Yes, master. Please help me find a way out of this," Edward replied. The sage closed his eyes and chanted a mysterious spell. Then he held out his hands and a small clay pot appeared. He gave it to Edward. "Take this pot. It will solve all your problems." Edward looked at the pot in disbelief. "Master, how can this simple pot help me?" "This is no ordinary pot," the sage said. "It is magical. It will grant whatever you wish for. Use it wisely." Grateful, Edward took the pot home. He placed it on his table and thought about what to ask for first. After a while, he said, "Oh, magical pot, give me piles of gold." In an instant, the pot filled with shining gold coins. Edward gasped, "This is amazing! I've never seen so much gold. I will be the richest man." Just then, his wife Margaret walked in and was shocked. "Where did all this gold come from?" Edward took a deep breath and explained, "It's ours, Margaret. This pot is magical." After hearing his story, Margaret said, "If this pot is truly magic, we must use it wisely. This much gold can give us a new house, good food, and nice clothes. But we shouldn't be greedy." Edward agreed, but felt a growing desire for more wealth. The next day, he and Margaret visited their dry fields. "If the pot can give us gold, can it also give us good seeds?" she asked. Edward placed the pot down and said, "Oh, magical pot, bless my fields with a good harvest." Instantly, the barren land turned green and the crops thrived. Margaret was amazed but worried. "Edward, we just needed seeds, not full-grown crops. This feels wrong. Should we return the pot?" Edward scoffed. "Why should I return such a treasure? Do you want to go back to our poor life? Never." As time passed, Edward's greed grew. He asked for more gold, then a bigger house, and finally a grand palace. The pot granted all his wishes, making him the richest man in the village. Yet no matter how much he had, he always wanted more. One day, Edward declared, "This palace is not enough. I want something even bigger." Margaret tried to reason with him. "Edward, we should live within our means. Greed will ruin us." "I don't care, I want more," Edward shouted. His arrogance made him unrecognizable to the villagers, who whispered about his fortune and envied his wealth. Then, disaster struck. A severe drought hit the village, crops withered, and people struggled to survive. Villagers came to Edward's palace, pleading for help. "Edward, you have so much wealth," one man begged. "Please lend us money for food. We will pay you back when the drought ends." Edward sneered. "Why should I help you? Your problems are not my concern. Leave." Margaret pleaded, "Edward, they need our help." "If we give them money today, they will keep coming back. I refuse to waste my wealth on them," he replied. Edward's heart had turned cold. He dismissed the villagers, and they left disappointed. The next day, he picked up the magical pot and commanded, "Oh, magical pot, give me diamonds and gems." But this time, the pot remained empty. Confused, he tried again. "Magical pot, where are my riches? Give me what I want." Nothing happened. Furious, Edward slammed the pot onto the ground, breaking it into pieces. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the broken pot. Your greed has blinded you. Instead of helping others, you sought only to satisfy your own desires. You became selfish. Now, as I am destroyed, everything you gained will vanish. Edward watched in horror as his palace disappeared. The mountains of gold vanished and his grand home crumbled to dust. In moments, he was back in his old broken-down house. Everything he had gained was gone. Edward fell to his knees. What have I done? I've lost everything. Margaret shook her head. I warned you, but you did not listen. This is the result of your greed. Humbled and filled with regret, Edward realized his mistakes. From that day, he vowed to work hard and never let greed control him again. Slowly, he rebuilt his life, not with magic, but with honesty and hard work. Over time, Edward changed. He worked his fields, helped his fellow villagers, and lived a happy life. He learned that true wealth comes not from magic or greed, but from hard work and kindness. And that's the end of today's story. Hope you enjoyed the story and learned something new. If it helped, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next story. Thanks for watching.